Hey, what's going on, Ram fans? We got the first reason to celebrate in almost a month. The Rams squeak out a 20-15 win over the Raiders. Shouldn't have been that stressful, but hey, we had a feeling they were going to find a way, right? First thoughts on this game and first reactions. How do you feel?
Thank God. Because, look, we said earlier, hey, we haven't hit rock bottom yet. It's been a crappy season, a lot of blown games that we should have won. I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda. They didn't do it. But to lose or to have lost to the Raiders who don't have Devontae Adams, do not have Jacoby Myers, their top two wide receivers, who are missing a starting right guard, who are in a quarterback hell right now. Even though I like Minshew more than most people, but he luckily had a bad day. Uh, no quarterback, a defense that has a couple guys you worry about, but overall as a whole unit are very, very easy to expose in the run game and other aspects of the team. An offense that turns the ball over the most in the NFL, a defense that has more missed tackles than ours. They lead the league. All these things I say is because if we would have lost to that team, rock bottom would have been here right now as we discuss it, and everything will be on the table. Coaching futures, players' futures, everything. But luckily, the defense saved the day, and we don't have to have that conversation as of right now, right, gentlemen? So I feel good. And again, thank God.
How about you, Paul? I know you must have been. I wish I could have watched you observing the first couple of series by the Rams offense and their inclination to pass rather than run the ball once again.
Well, that's why they had another goose egg in the first quarter. So I mean, that's the bottom line. They are these slow starts are just putting them behind the eight ball. Once again, I had to double check that stat. I wasn't even sure of that, but two first half touchdowns all season. That's just prior to them scoring was just it was just scary. But there were some positives in terms of what I was really happy about. Some of the defensive changes really paid off today. That was huge. The young kids like McCollough. McCullough just has a natural feel for playing that zone. You just saw it today. I was and Lake is just a beast. He's just an emerging superstar. That one-on-one tackle with on Bowers just saved the game. It was a game saver. So, and then obviously Kyren is just asking for the ball, begging for the ball, and when he gets it, he hammers it home. It's a simple recipe for the Rams moving forward.
Yeah, I think I'd also like to call out the play on Michael Hoyt. I think he was flashing all over the place. I'm not sure how many snaps he had, but he had a really big impact on this game. So it was nice to see some veterans stepping forward too. Anybody else, Ian, that you think stood out in this effort?
Safety, Jaylen McCollough. What a fantastic day he had. The undrafted rookie. We all thought Cameron Kitchens would fill in this role, right, gentlemen? And here, shout out to the Rams PR for pulling out fun stats. Jaylen McCollough recorded an interception for the second consecutive game, becoming only the seventh Rams rookie to record interceptions in consecutive games, and the first since Jordan Fuller in 2020 when he had a nice rookie campaign. So for him to step up, for him to have 3 interceptions on the year, 2 in this game, obviously, and critical moments. Thank God, again, for some rookie on the defense stepping up and making some plays. So, again, I'm not completely out on Cameron Kitchens. I know a lot of people are disappointed, including myself, and I'm sure you guys as well, about how his lack of just wherewithal on the field was just so poor. It's good to at least see one of the rookies out there making some big plays at in the safety spot, and I'm happy that that he's on our team and that he's helping us out win some damn games. Because without those 2 interceptions, do we even win this ball game? I mean, let's be real about it. So that was a big deal that he came up with those 2 big plays for us for sure.
Yeah, and Tyler Johnson came through for us big time too. One play,
Yeah,
I think that was the drive that we ended up missing the field goal, but still, it was a nice contribution. It's nice to see him finally contribute in a significant way. I think he was actually our leading receiver today.
Yeah, and that was huge because Jay Witt didn't get any burn today. So that that injury, or whether they were saving him for Thursday, which is probably more of the case,
they were
give
saving
him
him,
some
Paul.
more. Yeah,
were saving him, dude.
some more recuperation time, which is smart on their part. But Tyler Johnson maybe played himself out of the doghouse. He's a talented player. And what a difference for the Rams to see a receiver of some kind with yardage after the catch. That was huge. Not running out of bounds, not getting tripped up. We won't even talk about that one. Got to run through and break some tackles every now and then. But and then Kobe Durant, huge today. Huge. And the game within the game, Wallace got a lot of burn today. And that 3 outside linebacker look is going to save the season for the Rams. It did a lot of damage today. And moving Curl back closer to the line of scrimmage, we talked about it last week. The kid is a phenomenal blitzer for a safety. He is a phenomenal blitzer today. And you just saw it. He was all over the place. He played a whale of a ball game as well. So kudos to the defense. Their tackling still needs work.
God.
But they would probably be leading the league in sacks if their defensive players could actually tackle a quarterback.
It's insane. The one where Minshew ducked under Kobe Turner,
right.
I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, dude. It's crazy. We lead the league in pressures, everybody. So we're causing the quarterback to be flustered and run around and, oh my God, I'm going to get hit. We just can't tackle. I mean, whatever. We'll enjoy the win, and they did enough. They played good enough to win this game by far. But, it's concerning. But, again, without their turnovers, without their critical plays, and Quinn Lake's clutch tackle that we said earlier, thank God, we don't win.
Yeah, I left that off my key playlist here, and I should have included it. Also, how about, Paul, you must have been jumping out of your seat on that Xavier Smith run.
Yes.
He looks so fast. I haven't seen a Ram receiver look that quick in quite a while.
Yeah.
Ram Nation, read between the lines. Read between the lines, Ram Nation. You know who should be getting snaps over who should be getting snaps. Who's wasting our time? We're wasting our time. I just looked at the numbers. Another average per reception of 8.5 yards today. Are we kidding? Let's stop throwing the kid the ball. We know who we're talking about.
Who are you talking? I'm like, who are you talking about, dude? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, oh man, the time of possession was crap. As we, shout out Rams Nation tuning in with us on YouTube. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos here. Mark has a nice table here of all the importance to team stats here. I mean, there was some just crappy drives where I was like, you got to be kidding me. And for respect to Antonio Pierce and, his defensive prowess and how he wanted his team to not be so terrible in the run game. Because what did we talk about, gentlemen, this last roundtable we got together about the keys to the game? Raiders defense was in the bottom 5 of defending the run. It was abysmal. And they sold out to stop the run because they knew, hey, give it to an all-pro running back, Kyren, and they're going to test us. And respect to them for stepping up to the plate and making it tough on us. So I was worried for a majority of this game, thinking, oh, my God, we can't run it on the Raiders right now. I was like, this is bad. But did enough on defense, did enough in some critical downs. The passing yards and the rushing yards, 154, 115, those aren't the best clean numbers. Obviously, rushing, that's solid, at least over 100. But however you got to win to get some momentum going, I'm glad they were able to just find a way and get it done offensively. But I am happy deep down that Sean McVay was pretty pissed, it seemed like, deep down at his press conference when asked about the offense and the reoccurring issues of scoring, red zone issues, slow starts, all that stuff. I'm glad it's bothering him because that's how things change. It needs to eat at you. You need to look in the mirror and realize, all right, what I'm doing in a game plan-wise isn't good enough. And we've talked about it a gazillion times on here. He's got to stop calling plays like Puka and Cooper Kupp are out there. Long developing plays. I know Tutu can stretch a field. I know DeMarcus has that ability, and Jordan Winnington, but they're not those. They're not all pro guys like Nakua and Kupp. Stop calling those passing plays like they're out there. And we've been saying it for weeks. Luckily, it didn't cost us today because the Raiders' offense sucks and is bad. But if he doesn't get it changed by Thursday and beyond, I mean, we're going to continue to lose a lot more games because of it. So I'm glad that he's mad about it, mad at himself, because that's the only way he's going to change is if he hits some pretty low lows to be able to finally be like, yo, man, my game plans suck. I got to change. But it shouldn't take this long, middle of the season, to get there. But alas, at least he's getting there, I think.
You have to second that opinion, I assume, Paul.
The Rams played like I didn't realize it until midway through the game how shorthanded they were playing today. Justin Dedich was in there. We were commenting on that playing left guard, probably
Yeah,
because
he wasn't good today.
Logan Bruss was really struggling. Dedich he's the third string center, the kid from USC. He battled, but that just goes to show you like how deep on the roster they are reaching to find bodies that can go out there and get the job done. So they scratched and clawed their way, through this game. But the constants are there, and that's what's the puzzling part. When you watch the game, everybody's saying it. The Rams have certain things that are just there week to week, and the ground game is there week to week. It's been the theme all year. They have been able, especially within the 10, the ground game has been solid. But where they have struggled, really, and there's something about the third quarter where they really, really just, for whatever reason, just lose sight of game management as a whole, as a unit, offensively. That they really lose sight of game management, and they're really struggling in the third quarter, and you can feel it happening. You can feel it start to unfold. But I think the other teams are starting to sense it too. Like today, we were texting back and forth. You could see the Raiders were blitzing on literally every other play, right? They knew because they didn't have to protect the edge, right? Until Xavier Smith ran that jet sweep, right? They didn't have to protect the edge. They got to sprinkle in those toss plays to Kyren. They got it, and they have to get their screen game going. They have to get their screen game going. Every team they play, the DNs just line up, pin their ears back, and they get after it. They're not even worried about getting trapped upfield. So that's something that was glaring today because they could have got tons of yardage if they were running screens. But overall, I mean, it was a hard-fought game. It's good for the Rams to play games like this if they get a W, right? Because it really highlights to them what they have to do to win. They did win the turnover differential. We said that would be the key to this game, and it was.
Yeah.
That was the difference in this game.
So the good news is, obviously, the Rams win, the 49ers loss. Unfortunately, Seattle was able to come away with a win. We'll see what happens with the Cardinals tomorrow night. But, yeah, it's an overall good day for the Rams. Like I say, you got a W. They're still in the hunt. And I don't even know if the Vikings game is a must-win game. It would be great to come away with a win. But I think they could go on a run here still. They just need to get some guys back and play a little more consistently. And it's nice to see some guys stepping up. While I saw I don't know if you saw the pregame show. I don't usually watch pregame shows because they just annoy the heck out of me. But I happened to have it on, and Bill Cowher actually was kind of echoing what we've been thinking. Hey, this is a young team. Defense has not played well, but they got a bunch of young guys slowly figuring it out. If they can just survive and get through this rough patch, this could be a really dangerous team. I'm not sure how dangerous they can be with the way the defense has showed so far, but just like last year, maybe a team that no one wants to play in the second half of the season. We can only hope.
Yeah, it's look at gentlemen, we're at the halfway point. I mean, we got to start winning games. Every game going forward is a must-win. We're barely at 2 wins, and it's already going to be week 8. It's we're at that critical point where every win is just going to be important. And like you stated earlier, luckily the 49ers lost, and unfortunately the Seahawks won. But we haven't played them yet. We can still control that tiebreaker, very soon. But, shout out to Peter Schrager, NFL Network, but he is a Rams homer, being homies with Sean McVay. 2 games in 5 days. Rams played to save a Cooper Kupp today, and he'll be on the field Thursday night. And 49ers lost. It's wide open, and he's not wrong, which is insane, by the way, that 2 wins and we're not out of it. It's really, really incredible. And in case, again, for everyone out there, Cooper Kupp will play against the Vikings. We need him. We need him against a good defense, and that's all good news coming out of this win on top of just getting a W. So, yeah, gentlemen, it's a must win on Thursday. It's not going to be easy. Do I expect him to win? Probably not, just because we're undermanned so much against a good roster, a good team, good coaching, coaches who know us, coaches who coached with us, coaches who know how to defend our offense and exploit it. I mean, it's going to be a tough day, I feel, just being real about it, but it's got to be win or go home mentality. here on going
Do you
out.
do you
He just
think
has
it's
to be.
do you think it would have been sometimes people put weight on this? I'm not sure how much weight we should put on it. Would have been better if the Vikings had won that game against Detroit, or do you think it's better that they lost a nail biter to the Lions, or
Oh
do you
no,
think it
better
matters at
better
all?
better that they won, because when you lose, you dial in a little bit more. I don't care what anybody says, whether you're a Pop Warner player, a high school, college, especially NFL. When you didn't do enough to get a victory, everyone gives a little bit more to try to get a victory that following game, right? I mean, I don't think that's anything crazy to say at all. So it would have been better if they would have won, but because they didn't, they're going to be trying to get a win extra on Thursday.
Yeah.
And of course, Sam Darnold coming back to LA. Now he's the hot quarterback for in the NFL right now, playing good football. And he's going to want to win back, coming back to Southern California, the Los Angeles area. So it'll be a tough one, but Cooper Kupp being back, that helps a ton.
Yeah, I see
That's
the
going to help
opening
them
up.
on third down for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They are desperately seeking a go-to receiver for third down. So maybe slowly working him back on third downs. And Stafford's going to have a huge grin on his face because that's exactly where he's going every third down.
Yeah, it'd be. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, that Viking. So I watched the mini game. I didn't get a chance to watch all of the game. I watched the entire first half, and I watched the mini game of the Detroit game. Detroit gave that game away in the set, and they had with 2 minutes left, and they went 3 and out and gave the ball back to Detroit. And they actually stopped the clock with a pass, an incomplete pass, in that. So that was an interesting sort of final 2 minutes in that game. But they played well, and for the Rams, we'll talk more about it in the round table. I mean, this recipe is dangerous for the Rams. They got a star wide receiver, they got Aaron Jones, a star running back, and they got a red hot quarterback. And they have a defense that likes to come after you. So you put those together, that's going to be a tough game. But the Rams are expecting reinforcements for from this game moving forward. So going back to what Cowher was saying, the idea is that the Rams are going to be peaking in the second half of the season, hopefully going into that stretch run, right? And he made a good point. He said, "Listen, target 10 wins. That's your goal. You just want to get 10 wins on the board, right? Depending how it plays out in the NFC West, you might even be able to get away with less than that. But for now, target 10 wins and make that your goal." So while other teams are, maybe coming down to earth in the second half of the season, the Rams will hopefully be, ascending. So, and the young kids are playing, so they're actually increasing their quality roster depth until the vets are ready to go. But it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a great game. That Minnesota game is going to be a phenomenal game to watch.
Yeah, speaking of young guys getting in the game, Brandon Jackson saw his first action.
Yeah.
So
Action Jackson sighting.
Yeah.
And you know what? Real quick, while we're on that topic, I'm going to say something nice about Coach McVay before we go into that. Another nice thing. Well, with his win against the Las Vegas Raiders, head coach Sean McVay tied John Robinson with 79 wins for the most wins by a head coach in franchise history. 2 claps for Coach McVay. That's fantastic. And again, I'm glad Coach McVay is our head coach. I wouldn't want to replace him, just being real. I mean, you can argue maybe Andy Reid or some other guys, but whatever. Hall of Fame coach. Okay. I'm glad he's our coach. And we talked about the issues he's had earlier. But when he said earlier there'll be serious personnel changes early in the week, what a bunch of crap that was.
I know.
And that's okay. I get there's I understand the tactical reason to not show your hand. I get all that. But I've said this on here. We've said this on this pod and this network before where, hey, don't believe Coach McVay and the Rams. They're a bunch of liars about a lot of stuff, injury stuff, player personnel stuff. And I got kind of fooled this week. So I'll call myself out. I got fooled. I went away from the logic like, oh, finally, there's going to be some changes. And I got fooled. So everyone out there, believe it when you see it with everything with this Rams organization. As long as Coach McVay and Les Snead are the tandem that are running this team, we can't believe anything they say about player acquisitions, player trades, injuries, all of it. We just can't believe anything. And we were fooled into thinking there'd be a linebacker change or changes on offense. There wasn't really anything. Xavier Smith gets some more plays. That's cool. We saw some more interesting looks on defense, but it wasn't that different than what we've seen in the Packer game. So we got fooled, and it was a tactical ploy by Sean McVay to maybe trick Antonio Pierce and his staff. So it worked.
Hey,
We won, but that was lame.
talk about seeing it and believing it. Tommy Edmond has just done it again. I think it was a two-run double. So Dodgers are up right now.
Well, I will say this real quick. I mean, shout out to all the Raider fans that were out there wearing, a Dodger hat. I guess. I mean, cool. At least you got half of your teams right. That's fine. And I had some people tell me that they're at the game today. They're like, "Hey, I saw a lot of Dodger hat with Raider gear." They're like, "Yeah, you're half right today. Just change that gray, silver, and black to some blue and yellow." But hopefully, like, what did we say? Hopefully, Rams could start inhaling and absorbing some of the Dodgers' winning ways, and it seems like they got a little bit of that magic dust so far for this win today, and hopefully the Dodgers can continue as well.
How great is that for me if it turns out to be Yankees Dodgers? There won't be a screen large enough to contain the grin on my face.
Well, I think an 85-inch somewhere you could find. I think that'll handle it well, or larger.
Yeah, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but with Freddie Freeman, I don't know, is he even playing tonight? Is he still out?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, the Yankees have a decided advantage, I think, in that matchup at the moment. So
yeah, no doubt about it. But
yeah,
you know who's our clutch player for the Rams? I mean, Kyren Williams, guys. While we're just speaking of just good players. We got this fun stat here. Shout out to the Rams PR again. With 2 touchdowns on Sunday, running back Kyren Williams passed Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson for the most touchdowns by a Rams player in their first 17 career starts, with Kyren getting 22, passing Eric Dickerson's former 21. His 22 touchdowns are the second most by a player in their first 17 career starts in NFL history, trailing only Larry Johnson with 27. I mean, Kyren's that dude, man. And imagine if we didn't have third string center, third string guard, fourth string guard today. If we had a fully healthy O-line, how much he'd be kicking ass more than he already is. Dude's good, and hopefully he sticks around being a Ram for more than just his rookie contract. But you know how the Rams do business. But hopefully he'll be the exception. So there's that fun stat. And then this one, Kyren Williams, 8 rushing touchdowns are the most by a Rams player through their first 6 games of a season since Todd Gurley did it in 2018 when he had 9. So, Kyren's that guy. He's that dude. And I'm happy he's on our team.
Is it possible Avila could be back for the Viking game? Does anyone know?
I heard think rumors so.
No, not quite yet.
I think McVay said that Cup and Noteboom were the first wave of guys to come back from being seriously hurt, and he said Avila and Puka were a little further out, and then even further out would be John Johnson and Jonah Jackson, since they both had the shoulder serious injuries. So maybe Seahawks game with Avila and Puka if we're lucky. They both have serious sprains to the knee that doesn't recover quickly. Unless you're a Hall of Famer like Andrew Whitworth coming back, when he tore it, which is insane. So I think we're at least a couple games away before seeing them, and hopefully we can get some wins and we're, get reinforced.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we make an additional change at left guard, if we roll with Justin
Noteboom
again.
needs to come back. Noteboom needs to get his ass healthy. With him being hurt all the dang time. So hopefully for Thursday he'll be ready to rock, but who knows? I mean, we'll need him for sure. Right. We can't have Logan or homie who started today. I'm blanking on his name. Apologies.
We
can't have them. We're going to get Brian Flores will just blitz that gap
all day long.
All day, every day, and we'll just have no answers. So hopefully Noteboom can play.
Okay, anything else you want to talk about? I mean, this Vikings game, we'll get into into it a lot on the roundtable. We're going to have to do that Wednesday night, I assume, the day before. Yeah. And we'll save a lot of that for the Viking game, but a lot of people are going to be picking the Vikings, obviously. 3-point spread right now, but the Rams got a shot. Rams can bring it. Maybe finally get their act together on both sides of the ball in one game and get to 3-4. That'd be pretty. If they were to be able to get to 3-4 with everything that has transpired with this roster and these gut-wrenching losses, man, we'd have to be thrilled, right?
Oh, you beat the Vikings with
Yeah.
this squad that's assembled currently and who was available to play. We're in great shape. I mean, I gotta believe it to see it. But if that happens, and I'm hoping it happens, then we're in a great spot to win the West and to get in the playoffs after the year was looking like it was over, 30 minutes ago. you know?
Yeah, Boone played a great game today too. They actually blitzed him a couple of times, and he looked good on the blitz. He played hard. He played the run much better than in the past. So it looks like they definitely lit a fire underneath him, which was great. So he played a whale of a ball game today too. And I just think collectively, the Rams need to get back to playing complementary football. It was better today, but it still looks a little disjointed at times.
Yeah.
The special team difficulties. We don't want to. We'll chalk it up. The kid's young.
Oh man.
Yeah, but the Cardi party, we need to get back to to making it automatic. But
Ugh.
they played field position fairly well today. And you could see Xavier Smith he's dying to take one to the house. He's just dying to take a punt return to the house. But overall, if you had to give the Rams in terms of an overall today, it would have to be like a B minus. The game plan wasn't as sound as it probably should have been. And the execution was poor in certain areas, but they did enough to get the W. So I stand by it. I think the short turnaround is actually going to help them. It really will. Build on what you did well. Build on the momentum. Let the young kids play a little bit. Man, they're doing infinitely better than the players you had in there before. Even if you're eventually going to work back to the veterans, it's okay because it can't hurt because now they have depth and they'll have confidence. Spoon looked good today, even though he's wearing a kicker's number. Can somebody get him
that was a great play he made.
That was a great play to get his head turned around and not get called for the PI. That was a great play. But can we get him a double-digit jersey, please? Rams, come on. It looks like he's Greg Zuerlein running around out there.
Speaking of jerseys, I'm not comfortable with McCollough wearing 39, by the way. That number.
Steve Jackson's number?
Let him wear it. Just screw it. He's making plays in it. Obviously, that number's doing well for him and us. Yeah. So that's fine with me. Get that one-man wrecking ball energy.
Yeah. He just has a knack. He may be one of those guys that just has that knack for making big plays, right? Like that Dallas defensive back, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see it. The way he plays that zone, he's just comfortable. He recognizes routes. He just knows where to go. He doesn't, for a young kid to have that kind of feel, especially, in that area of the defense, that's impressive. He played a heck of a ball game today.
So are we gonna, before we close this out, is either of you gonna go on a run the damn ball rant, or did I miss it?
I mean, it's at this point, it's Ram Nation, you know the drill. Let Kyren get ill with the pill, baby. You will rack up some W's.
There it is.
Look,
Blake Corum had a couple moments. Yeah. Go ahead.
Apologies. I'm just like, if you run the damn ball with an all-pro running back and a good backup who deserves more carries, by the way, Blake Corum, because why are we driving him to third for him to get minimal carries? Good things will happen. It's that's how we're winning games, and that's how it'll have to be till everyone's back on board and healthy and ready to play complementary football as an entire offense. But for now, got to run the damn ball.
Yeah, what was the first 5 of the first 7 plays were passes, if I'm not mistaken, and I was surprised by that. And I know it looked like they were maybe stacked up to stop the run, but still 5 out of 7 passes. Was really surprised, and mostly to getting Tutu involved for the most part. And there may be something going on at the tight end position as well. I know. At the end there, I saw Hunter Long and Davis Allen in together, no Colby Parkinson. So there may be something brewing there. We'll have to see, something to monitor.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Any final words? You guys going to be up for a Wednesday night roundtable talking about this, final thoughts on this game and looking forward to the Vikings game? Guess we'll have to do that. You doing any film studies this week, Ian?
Oh, yep. You know it, everybody. Orchestrated Rams. It'll be Rams Raiders. That video will hopefully be out, Monday the soonest, Tuesday the latest. That's always the plan in the next couple days. Whenever the film is out, I'll start watching and we'll start cranking on some notes and get a video out to you guys. So we'll look at the good, we'll look at the bad, and hopefully, we learn from it. Players learn from it. Coaches learn from it as well, and we can keep getting some wins here. But Rams win, 20-15. It was ugly as hell, but damn it, I'm glad we won.
Good stuff. Thanks a lot, guys. Any final thoughts, Paul, before we sign off here?
Come on. Let's go, Dodgers. Seal the deal tonight, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, hey, we can. That's a good reason to wrap this up right now. We can jump over to the Dodger game. I know Paul and I are probably a little more excited about that than Ian, but I know Ian's on board with the Dodgers as well. And big game, man.
I'm just Ram centric before I put all my hopes and dreams into this other game right now. I just gotta go one at a time before I'll lose my mind.
Yeah. I know exactly where you're coming from. Okay, guys, man, thanks a lot. Really appreciate your time, and go Rams.
Ramley forever, baby. Ramley forever.
Just win, baby. Oh, wrong team.